Hi friends, so welcome to my channel again, and today I am going to talk about focal length. Let's check out. Now what is focal length? I have already made 3 videos regarding learning the basics of camera. One is for your ISO, second was on the shutter speed, and the third one for the aperture. Today's video is more related to the camera lenses. In today's world, many people want to have a DSLR or a camera which is equal to the level of DSLR, so they can capture good memories. But for that, it is required to understand few of the basics. Now, let's talk about the focal length. The focal length is nothing but related directly your lens capacity. Are you a landscape photographer or a regular photographer or a bird photographer lover or a sports photographer or just a portrait photographer? These are the main 5 segments that I divide lenses according to their focal length. So let me explain you what lens does what kind of things. As I just now said, that if you are a landscape photographer or you want to be a landscape photographer, then the main thing that you need in a lens is the lowest millimeter the lens has and the focal length it can capture, till from which millimeter it can go to which millimeter. There are landscape lenses which starts from 8 mm or 7 mm and they go up to 20 mm. Let's say for a standard lens, landscape lens, which is also called ultra wide angle lenses, which is useful for capturing the landscapes, they are started from 8 mm to 18 mm. This is the range. Maximum the lenses are built from 10 to 18 mm. In these kind of lenses, even a difference of 1 mm is huge difference, because you are losing on the crop factors that your screen can capture, and there is huge difference if you are using a 12 mm lens or a 10 mm lens, because that 2 mm can cause a very high crop and the landscape that you want to capture may not be captured till the breadth you would like to do it. So if you are interested in landscape photography, your lens would be from 8 mm or 10 mm up to 18 mm. Now coming on to the second lens, which is a regular kind of lens. This category falls under regular category. This lens starts from around 18 to or 20 mm and goes up to 70 mm. It's a huge focal length, I would say. Why? Let me explain. Because if from 18 mm till 24 mm, it is considered under a wide angle lens, not the ultra wide angle lens, but the wide angle lens. And starting from 24 mm to 70 mm, it is a regular lens or a regular focal length that is considered. So when you are using a lens which is having a focal length from 18 mm to 70 mm, you are in the regular category, but it doesn't mean that that is an unimportant category, because it is very important and it will help you to get those landscape photos as well as getting those portraits. Now I'll come to the third category, starting from 70 mm to 300 mm. Or let's say I'll talk about first 70 to 200 mm. 70 to 200 mm, this focal length is a magical lens. Many of the companies like Canon, Nikon, Tamron, Sigma, and also the other companies, they have this lens in their kit. Why they made this? The focal length from 70 to 200, if you are a portrait photographer or a wedding photographer, this is a must have lens in your bag. Most of these lenses come with an aperture of minimum f2.8. This gives a very blurry background, which is very essential if you are a wedding photographer. And also, when in a wedding, it might not be possible for the photographer to go to the nearest level and capture those moments. So this focal length, which is going starting at 70 mm and going till 200 mm, gives that capacity to move near and far whenever required according to the distance, because to shoot a wedding scenario he can't adjust the bride and the groom as the photographer needs. So this is one of the very popular lens, focal length from 70 to 200, and these lenses are never cheap. These are costly lenses. Now let's get into the other focal length, which is starting from 70 to 300 mm. Now this lens of 70 mm to 300 mm is much cheaper than when compared to 70 mm to 200 mm because of their aperture. 70 to 300 mm, they start from around 3.5 f3.5 and goes till f5.6 or f6.5. Why they are cheaper? Now you know, because of their f-stops. They don't go till f2.8, they start from f3.5 and gradually they increase their f-stop as you focus from 70 to 300. In 300 it will have an aperture of f5.6. These lenses are basically used and very popular if you are a bird photographer. These lenses will assist you in bird photography, and since they are low in cost but very good in quality, you will get the best quality of pictures out of it. Now, as I have already completed the ultra wide angle lens, the wide angle lens, the wedding specific lens, and also a bird photography lens, now I'll jump on to the higher focal length, which starts around 100 mm or 200 mm and goes up to 500 mm or 600 mm. Now, what these lenses do and what are they useful for? If you are a photographer who is keen to sports photography, you want to be a sports photographer, or you are a sports photographer, or you have seen sports photographers, they have this huge focal lens, this big lenses, more than this, but I'm unable to complete in this frame. What does these lenses do? First of all, these lenses are very heavy lenses. They are not lightweight, so you will find every time they are set on a tripod. These lenses, as the focal length starts from 100 mm or say 200 mm or 150 mm and goes till 600 mm, these lenses capture the distance. If you love to do moon photography, if you love to do sports photography, if you love to do any very far distance photography, that is your hobby or that is what you want to do, this kind of lens, which this huge focal lens, are very important. Now when I say that These focal length starts from 100 mm or 150 mm or 200 mm. And when I said in ultra wide angle lens that if there is a difference of 10 mm or 12 mm, that 2 mm difference is a huge difference. Why I said so, and why it doesn't matter so much if you are using a very huge focal length that is from 100 mm to 600 mm, because the distance that is getting captured from 100 mm to 150 mm is not doesn't matter so much. But in ultra wide angle lens, a distance from 10 mm to 12 mm matters a lot. If you are experiencing, if you are a photographer, or you have experienced that, then you will realize what difference does it make in a ultra wide angle lens, or and what difference does not make in a very high telephoto lenses. So these are basically the focal length starting from 70 mm and going to 600 mm. These category of lenses come in telephoto lenses. Okay, so I have captured almost all the lenses. Now I'll come to the fixed focal lens. You might have seen the lenses which are basically called as prime lenses, which is having a fixed focal length of say 35 mm, 20 mm, 50 mm, 85 mm. What these lenses do and what are they useful for? These lenses are useful if you are a complete portrait photographer or you are a vlogger in YouTube. These lenses are very useful because you don't have to adjust them. You get a very low aperture, let's say 1.8 or 1.7 or lesser than that. So few of the lenses they have 1.2 or 1.3 as aperture, which gives you a complete blurry background. The sharpness of these lenses is cannot be matched with any other lenses. So that's why these kind of lenses are very famous if you are into portrait photography, or as I said, if you are a vlogger. So I covered all the lenses starting from 8 mm to 600 mm and the categories the different lenses fall. So I hope this video was useful to you. If you have any query, please comment in the below and I'll try to answer all your queries. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.